Welcome to Doris Ranch, what we call the haunted house. Doris Ranch is about 270 acres. If you're familiar with my content, you're familiar with Doris Ranch. And believe it or not, that's where I am today. You can kind of see parts of the orchards over there. And in case you missed the thumbnail, GreenWitch. I think I might be the last guy to review this. Doug and Fran sent it out to a handful of people. I've had it for about 3 weeks. You guys, it is an absolute banger. I've used it probably 8 or 10 times. I've used it a lot. I absolutely love it. This house has been closed down for like 20, 30 years. The property is like 150 years old, something like that. Try to remember to put a link in the description. Let's get into this and talk about this killer fragrance that is an instant PAA classic. Start off with the Tube 2.0 PreShave from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, my go-to PreShave. This fragrance, I want to do like what I've been trying to do with my reviews of late. Well, I've been trying to do it for a while, but I failed a few times. I want to give you like a quick little synopsis, a glance at the fragrance and what I think of it, and then we'll dive into a breakdown of the fragrance itself. So if I had to classify this fragrance with just a few words, it would be green, spicy, woody, and warm. The balances of the spicy, the woody, the warm elements in this fragrance are just perfectly done. I don't remember, nor do I believe I've ever seen or tried the fragrance that this is a clone of. This is a doppelganger, and that is Gucci's Envy from the 1990s. So I don't have any real reference to go off of, but this is just perfectly done. So very well balanced and sophisticated and comforting at the same time. An instant PAA classic. I have with me my travel scuttle. I've already scooped into that using my PAA scoop, the guitar pick. I have cold water in it. I have the Peregrino from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. Did I already say, before I go any further, full disclosure, I like to do this right up front, let you guys know if I got a dog in the fight, and I do have a dog in the fight with this one, meaning what I mean by that is that the soap and splash were sent to me for review. I did not pay for the soap or splash. Also, full disclosure, the Phoenix Artisan links in the description are affiliate links. And what that is if you use those links, I will earn a 10% commission from your purchase. Doesn't cost you any more. It's just I get 10% of the sale. PAA gets 90% of the sale. I like to be completely transparent, so that's that. All the other links in the description are discount links to other vendors, but the Phoenix Artisan links are affiliate links, and I will earn a commission. All right, so let me pause it real quick. The wind has picked up and is blowing a few of my things around. Give me 2 seconds. All right, let's try it again. So the top is a spicy, citrusy, refreshing, and invigorating. Add some more water. The middle is warm, woody, a hint of carnation. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. It's just this cozy, comforting kind of heart to the fragrance. The base is deep, rich, earthy green. I think this fragrance is perfect for the cooler months, fall and winter that we're going into. It doesn't look like a fall day today, but it is October 19th, I believe. It's a Saturday. This dropped 2 days ago on Thursday. I wanted to get my review of this out sooner. I apologize. I was doing Sundown and Lather Blaster, and I didn't want to do this video until I had a release date. We didn't have a release date until the last minute. So here we are. It is available. I believe it's only going to be available for this autumn winter season, and then we'll go away. I don't see how Doug and Fran are able to keep this one away. It is so damn good. If you like Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, this is a must in your den. If you've already purchased it, you're in for something special, and I freaking mean that. If you haven't purchased it, I'm telling you, do not miss out on this one. Emily, my daughter, our 16-year-old daughter, gives it a 10. Her good friend Kaylani is spending the weekend with us. She gives it a 10 as well. Alexis, my wife, gives it a 9. I give it a 10. So you got 3 10s and a 9 out of 10. it's safe to say that all four of us absolutely love this fragrance. Everyone that I've talked to that has received this, including my friend Matthew Lawrence, who has already reviewed it, absolutely loves it. His favorite fragrance is Droid Black. If you know Matthew, you know how much he loves Droid Black. And Matthew says in that video, and has said to me on the telephone, I think it was text message, that this is a contender for his absolute favorite, which is Droid Black. And I'm telling you, this is an instant favorite in my den. This is a must-have, you guys. Do not sleep on this one. If you have the money, grab it. When I have the money, I'll be getting the EDP, the Star Jelly, the Solid Cologne, the deodorant, the soap and bath bar, shampoo, bath bar. I freaking love it. The top, so scent notes, starts off with ginger. And that ginger, so it's really hard to pick out individual notes with this fragrance, but what I'm gonna try and do with this review is share with you when I do notice a note, but also sharing with you what I think each note is doing in the fragrance overall. So we start off with that ginger, and there's no denying that what it is doing is bringing this fresh, zesty kick right with this kind of a punch, right? But it's a, I'm not very flexible. I'm trying to kick, but it's a fresh, zesty kick. Wearing shorts, I'm getting poked. Stick around for the B-roll. Did I already mention that? How you guys doing? Cardamom, sweet, aromatic spice. It is perfect. This is a spicy green fragrance. Did I already say that? I did. The cardamom, I think, is bringing with it both this exotic vibe to the top, that's also comforting at the same time. Then we have the pepper, and the pepper is introducing this sharp, invigorating spiciness. After the pepper is mandarin orange. I do not smell orange. I got it on the back of my hand. At no point am I like, oh, there's the orange. It is a subtle, bright, citrus ambiance to it in that top. And what I believe it's doing is bringing a brightness to the top, and at the same time is lifting up those initial notes, kind of making them more vibrant, more lively, more spicy, just more fantastic. That runs us into the middle where we find sandalwood. Only thing I can determine with the sandalwood is that it's bringing a creamy, woody richness. I don't really detect sandalwood. After the sandalwood is cedar. At the same time, there's a woodiness to this fragrance, but I don't pick out anything that, you know, really jumps at me as cedar. I got a spider web or something hanging from my bill. Not using a mirror today. I got a stool right below me and a stool to my left. You are on the tripod. Did I say that? The cedar, though, what I think it's doing is it's pretty freaking brilliant. It's like a dry, woody character that is somehow like balancing everything out and making this even more complex because of everything that's going on up above. You know, you got all these things above it that are like trying to reach up with the spiciness and the zestiness, right? But then the sandalwood and the cedar is just like bringing it all back down to reality, right? Like back down. Does that make sense? The carnation. Now, there is a floralness to this. This is not a floral fragrance. We only have the one floral period, really. Depends on how the pepper is done, right? Whether or not that's a floral, because sometimes it's the flowers. But the carnation is what I think that what that note is doing, because I don't smell anything that smells like carnation, is bringing it like, and I think it's working with that cedar up above, like I was talking about a moment ago, doing this like soft floral spiciness that is just overall enhancing the complexity of this fragrance. And even though I don't detect I need to get to shave in that sun. It's like 70 degrees outside. It's unbelievably warm. It's like 15 degrees warmer today than it was yesterday, Friday. Looks pretty good to me. I can't see the screen that well. But it's just enhancing the overall complexity of it. I'm a scatterbrain space case. How you doing? They call me a squirrel. Artifact. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. And I have loaded in it a first use. I love this razor. A first use a first use Phoenix Strangelet, Platinum Strangelet. Love this razor. Bakelite handle, Bakelite open comb bottom plate here, and then you have a brass head that is plated with 24 karat gold. Absolutely fantastic razor. Oh, and I didn't shave yesterday got that new job that I've talked about. If you follow my content, I wanted to shave, but then because of the Duck game, they played on Friday night last night, I was going to shave late, and I wanted to get out here earlier than what I actually did. So rather than shave yesterday, I did have time. It just wasn't good timing, if that makes sense. So I do have 2 days growth. I am generally an everyday shaver. Train. So I am generally an everyday shaver. Thought I missed some. So that runs us down into the base. And the base starts out with incense. And I don't detect incense. Like all these fragrances, do not let any of the notes turn you off, because this is very much a symphony, an orchestra. All the notes are coming together and creating one sound. There is stages of this fragrance to where the top does develop into the heart, and the heart develops into the base, and the base develops into the dry down. But it is so well blended, so well orchestrated, that the sum is really bigger than the parts. This is one of those fragrances that just instantly captures you and pulls you in and is unforgettable. It's done after Gucci for men, and it does very much lean masculine. But talking with my wife, I don't see any reason why a woman couldn't pull this off, especially in the cooler months. Even though I just put water on my face, the sun is working against me. I got a bug on my neck. You see in the B-roll, I'm surrounded by vegetation. The orchards are pretty much all around me. I'm kind of encompassed by the orchards. Might be a little too wet when I first put it on the face, but with the sun and the way that I yakety schmackety, I think we'll be just fine. Especially since the CK6 was just still to this day one of the absolute best bases ever made. It is a vegan base, and it just kicks butt. It really does. Starts off with the incense. I don't smell anything that smells exactly like incense, but what I think, it's kind of cheesy. This is the best I could come up with the incense. It's like a smoky, mystical depth. Smoky, mystical depth. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The tobacco, don't really smell anything that's like, oh, there's the tobacco, but it's like a sweet, earthy richness that you run into in the base of this fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that the top grabs you, and as the fragrance transpires into the dry down, it never lets go. Every stage is more intriguing than the previous. It is just so well done. This is anything like Gucci's Envy. Gucci's Envy was a banger, because this is an absolute banger. Vanilla, I do not detect what I would say is vanilla. But again, there's like a creamy, sweet warmth to this third stage in the base that has to be attributed, at least in part, to that vanilla. After the vanilla is the vetiver, and once again, I don't smell anything that I'm like, oh, there's vetiver. We don't know if this is Indonesian or Haitian or this or that type of vetiver. There's several different types. It just says vetiver, which is okay, because I don't detect vetiver. But there is this earthy edge, and all these notes are playing together, an earthy edge going on in the base of this that is fresh and grounding, and I can't help but want to attribute that to the vetiver. And then to make that analysis even more complicated, right after it we have patchouli. Now, like my wife Alexa says, there is a musk to this fragrance, and nowhere in the scent notes do we see, you know, ambergris or something that says musk or anything like that. But we do know that patchouli can bring a deep, musky earthiness to it, or with it, and that is definitely present in this fragrance, and I attribute that presence to the patchouli in the base, and it just lingers beautifully. This green, earthy, masculine musk. It is just so perfect. Guys, I cannot recommend this fragrance enough. I cannot overhype it enough. I try so hard not to create FOMO, but this is one that you really don't want to miss out on. And if you don't like it, you should be able to get at least half your money back through a buy trade sell, because this is going to be an instant PAA classic to where everybody loves it. And I mean that. I'm willing to bet that 90 to 95% of people that buy this are going to absolutely love it. The other 5% are only going to like it, and then the other 5%, you know, may not like it. But this is one of those fragrances that is just an instant classic, an instant must-have, and the kind that when people miss out on it, they can't wait for it to come back. And with that being said, like I said in the beginning of the video, I believe that I don't see how Doug and Fran are able to ignore bringing this one back, because it is so good that I really think that the demand is going to be there. And like, even with fragrances that I buy and I own, I have plenty of the soap of, I also like to buy the deodorants and the solids and the star jellies and whatnot. What I always run out of the fastest is the deodorants. And there's times like with Malbauge last fall, I bought like 3 or 4 of the deodorants, and I just ran out a little bit ago. Now keep in mind, I'm not just using Malbauge. I got like 10 or 15 or 20 different deodorants that I'm using, because I'm a schnerd, I'm a frag head, and when I wear Malbauge, the deodorant, I love to wear it if I'm wearing anything kind of similar. So I always have a bunch of deodorants, so it's not like I'm just using one. But I always wish that I had more, and there's times, you know, that I'd love to reach out to Doug and be like, hey, you know, you don't have to do the soap and splash, but can we get some deodorant? Can we get some bath bars? Because I got this daily stank going on, and I need to combat it. And like, you're kind of like my anti-stank hero, so help my pits out, and you know, the nether regions that I wash with your bath bars that are just so darn dandy. We're gonna call that good enough of a wipe up. How'd I do? It's really hard to see the screen. You guys know what it's like, right? Looking at a phone screen in the sun. That's what I do with these shaves. So I always trust that the lather looks good. And sometimes I get home and I look at it, I'm like, oh man, that's a horrible lather. And then other times I look at it, I'm like, damn, that was a good lather. I think that was a good lather. How was that lather? That lather looked good. If the lather didn't look good, it was all on me, because CK6 is something else. Let me tell you what, okay? Now the splash. I've been using it. I've been wearing it. I'm going to decant it. Cannot get enough of it. I've worn it to work a few times, had different people smell it. They all really liked it. So freaking good. Fall and winter, early spring, any cooler weather. It doesn't have to be cold weather. I just would not recommend this on a day much hotter than today. It might be a little too much, but this is perfect for cooler weather. Hot summer, summer nights, yes, not a Oregon summer night, maybe not a Texas or a Florida or Southern California summer night, but depending on where you live, I think 80 degrees and lower, this fragrance is perfect for, especially the cooler, colder months. It is so darn good, comforting, cozy, warm, green, spicy, nostalgic. It is good stuff, Maynard, in every essence of the word. I absolutely cannot get enough of it. The wife loves it. Emily loves it. I love it. It's a must-have. Thank you, Doug and Fran, for sending this out to me. Sometimes, I want to look to the left when I should be looking to the right, because you're right there. Hey, how you doing? If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. It's a little big thanks, my friends. And for me, getting out here, enjoying a day like this with Luna, Athena, and my beautiful bride. She's over there reading a book. You'll see that in the B-roll. Stick around for the B-roll in just a second for a 360 of my surroundings. Famous haunted house of Doris Ranch. Take care, guys. See you next time. Welcome to the B-roll. How did the shave go? A little shed right over here to my right, or was to my right during the shave. My beautiful bride, you can't see her. She's under the trees there in the shade. Maybe you can, I can't. Reading a book. So this house, no one's lived there for like 20 or 30 years, and this is on Doris Ranch property. It's not like the original Doris Ranch house or anything like that. It was something that was built, much later than the Dorises. But no one's lived there for a long time. I remember when I was a kid, you could see cars that were actually parked there. So they're getting ready for the haunted hayride. Let's zoom in real quick. You can see some of the pumpkins out there. So you can see they're starting to get set up for the festivities that start at 5 p.m. tonight. So out here is the Filbert Hazelnut Orchards. Show you my setup real quick, and then let's take a walk around the house. Tripod, my 2 stools. Let me put my towel. Pause it real quick, guys. I'm just gonna keep the sunlight, direct sunlight off my splash and soap real quick. All right, so let's take a walk around the house. So we are at the back end of the house. You see out here are some of the orchards. It's just a very small part of them up here. It's kind of near the front of the, what is it, 268 or 278 acre orchard. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Across the way there, that's one of the historical homes. I don't think it's like the original home, but that one is like a office building that they use it for now. It's still in use, but not for a living quarter. So I'm not going to walk around too much, around the rest of it. Well, get into the light better for you guys. I want to again thank Doug and Fran for sending this out to me for review. Once again, I did not pay for GreenWitch. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. It's a little big things, my friends. And you know what? Spooky old houses. Taking the time to enjoy them. It's a little big thing, right? Take care, y'all. I'll see you next time. Go Ducks.